The Utah Mammoth is sorta proud to present Nashcast.
What the is a Nashcast?
Nashcast, the only hockey show on the planet. Hosted by a human speed bag, fourth line wannabe, healthy scratch, schnozzy moto, Tyson Nash.
Who the hell is Tyson Nash?
Never heard of him.
And the baritone with a brain, the velvet hammer, Mr. Silky, Tono Suave, the radio voice of your Utah Mammoth,
Code Blue!
Mike Folta.
Oh, Captain, my Captain!
Nashcast begins now.
Ready for takeoff.
Here's Tyler Ganoush and Mickey Foghorn. Wait, what? Oh, here's Tyson Nash and Mike Folta.
Feeling good, folks. Back here in God's country in Kelowna, K-Town. It's good to be back. The smoke has cleared. If you've been following along with us, last podcast I did out in the dock, you could barely see 10 feet in front of you. So nature is good to us. God is good. He rained on the party, which is huge, much needed. So that was huge news, but super sad. All these fires around the world. But anyway, enough about that. We got some good stuff going on around the hockey world. Training camps just a few weeks away now, folks. There's nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing on TV unless you're a baseball fan. But so I hope you're catching and taking on all these podcasts that people have going on around the world, because we need support. God knows we do.
Oh, I went to the movies, Tyson. There's no sports. I was like, I haven't watched a Spider-Man movie since I was 8 years old, but like I'll go see the new Spider-Man movie. Like, why not? I guess, right? So, there is something about going to the theater though. Like I need to do that more. It's a blast. The tub of popcorn, like probably not great for you, but I don't feel great walking out of there either. But like, in the moment, I'm like, this is the best. Like. We've been Americans, all around the world, but especially in America, we've been going on like movie dates and movie outings for decades now. And it's got to be just as cool now as it was like in the 80s when you're going to see Star Wars for the first time.
Well, not too far from here, there's still a drive-in theater. A drive-in theater. Think of that. Oh, yeah. Like they still exist. And to your point, there's nothing like a movie. I prefer the matinees myself. I don't mind going by myself. I'm one of those losers sitting by himself with a big thing of popcorn, and licorice is my thing. When I'm watching a movie, I am just downing a bunch of Twizzlers, which you're right. You walk out of there feeling awful. But I love too now that you can order. Like you're in these movie theaters and you got a little iPad and you're ordering wine, beer. I mean, how good is that? So that's where the game has changed. Absolutely.
Did you ever do that, like on off days? Maybe you're in a different city, or maybe you're just at home. Like, would you ever go with your teammates and go catch a flick?
1,000%. I would go to probably 2 movies a month, like without a doubt. Especially when my wife wasn't living with me all the time during my career. Whatever town I'm in on the road, you love it. It's awesome. You go hit an early movie, then you go to a nice dinner and a big steak, glass of wine, and then you hit the hay and a little dessert before bed. That's like that's a thing in the National Hockey League, at least when I played. Maybe these guys are way too healthy now, but I would always get Doug Waite when he's my roommate. It was always vanilla Haagen-Dazs ice cream, and then he would stick me with the bill. Making $9 million a year. Dougie, you tight ass.
We've got some folks on our travel party with that need to find some ice cream as well with the Utah Mammoth. It's pretty funny. I'm not going to name names, but there's at least one guy who is very particular about his ice cream when we touch down in a new city. So
I just got sap all over my finger. Like, this is a nightmare. Now it's on my microphone. Like, this damn big tree right here is leaking sap all over me. I just got hit with it. Now it's on my palm. Like, what? How do you get sap off?
It fell off the tree?
I know. I put my hand down on this rock, and it's just this tree is just leaking with it. So it's Stuff's from the devil, man. Holy cow. Hey, another thing, and this is on a real sad note, folks. My son went to ASU last year, and there has been just a horrific incident, an absolute horrific incident with ASU, the men's hockey team, Sun Devils. There was a young man, they were doing military training out in the heat. And that young man is in the hospital right now fighting for his life. So I want to send some prayers out to him. You know, it's just so sad. I can't imagine what his family is going through, what his teammates are going through, watching him, you know, be taken away in an ambulance after that event. So my prayers go out to the ASU family for sure, and more importantly, the kid's family.
Yeah, no doubt. And that Arizona heat is no joke, as you know. So, wow, I didn't see that, Tyson. Yeah, definitely thinking about that whole group, but especially the family there. I mean, it's that time of year. Everybody's training, everybody's skating, right? Like everybody's getting back after it, trying to find every little edge. And we got some Mammoth guys on the ice, Tyson, back in Salt Lake City. We got Sebastian Kosa is already in town with some of his new teammates, and he's our guest on the Nashcast this week. So we had a great opportunity to chat with him. Super easygoing, likable guy from all the way up in Fort McMurray. Oh, way
not much else to do in Fort McMurray than play hockey or dig giant holes with oil in them. So I think he picked the right career, although he might be, and we laughed about this on the show, he might be the poorest one in the family because the entire family is in the oil industry. So, and we know what oil's doing right now. It's absolutely booming. So I hope everyone enjoys this interview with Kosa. This guy, Foltz, for me, is a guy that I've watched for a long, long time, since he was 16 years of age. He went head to head against my son in the Western Hockey League when he was with the Oil Kings. And this guy was an absolute stud. So I was beside myself when Bill Armstrong pulled the trigger. I believe it was at the draft to get Kosa and bring him in. And again, just a head scratcher for me why a team like Detroit would not give him a longer runway, would not have him be the backup goaltender. This is a team that hasn't made the playoffs in 9 seasons, I believe. Ever since Little Caesars Arena opened up, they have not been to the dance. So I think he's the goalie of the future wherever he is, but he is with the Utah Mammoth, my man. And we're happy to have him.
Certainly. And we didn't get to see his mask, unfortunately. He's still working on that, but he's getting the gear dialed in. Can't wait to see that look as well. But a great conversation with the guy they call SEABASS, Sebastian Kosa.
Feeling good. Holy, welcome back to the Nashcast, powered by the Utah Mammoth. Our next guest, Canadian grown. And this big fella, he didn't stop growing. How about 6'6", 221 pounds of beef? Big addition at the draft for the Utah Mammoth, one of the most sought after young goaltenders in the entire league. He's all yours, Utah. Welcome to the show, Sebastian Kosa. What's up, big fella?
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
Wow.
Sebastian,
what's
great
going on? Sorry, Foltz. Jeez, I'm stepping all over your toes already. The first question. Go ahead, Foltz. Take it away.
Well, no, he's there in Utah, clearly. Sebastian, what's been going on? When did you get in town? I see you got the gear. You're all fitted out in the Mountain Blue. Who you been skating with?
Yeah, it's been good. I got here early August, so just getting adjusted here, getting the house all sorted out and stuff like that. Me and my wife and dog are down here, so that's been good. Just getting used to this altitude and heat. So it's starting to finally feel good down here. And no, it's been a couple good weeks for sure.
Well, the tan, I don't know if you're dancing around Utah in that Speedo yet, but you know, you got to be loving life in Utah. But talk to us about the trade itself at the draft. What went through your mind when you first heard you were going to Utah?
Yeah, I was actually watching a bit of the draft early on, and then we kind of switched it off. I was actually at my parent-in-law's house. So we started watching a movie, got a call from my agent, told me I was getting traded to Utah. So that It was a good call though. Obviously really excited. I know Gunner, so that's good to kind of join an organization and already know a guy. It's a little bit easier to come in, and the guys have taken me under the wing right away and made me feel really comfortable right away. So no, it's been really good. Facilities here are incredible. Super excited to just get going here.
What movie was on? What was so good that pulled you away from the screen and away from some big transactions?
I honestly couldn't even tell you. I forget it. I honestly don't even know.
So talk about your time in Detroit, because it's a head scratcher to me, right? Detroit, that new building, it's absolutely beautiful. This is an original 6 team, and they haven't made the playoffs since they've been in that new building. You show up, your first ever game, you get a W, and you don't play the next night. I mean, you don't play again. I mean, the whole story of your first game, it was incredible. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, it was quite the experience. First year pro, went down to Toledo there, and got some valuable experiences down there. Played a lot down there, so that was good. Great group of guys down there. So had a lot of fun that year. But next couple of years, grinding out in the minors, and had some really good teams. But yeah, obviously got called up there. A couple of injuries up top, and me and Ville Husso were down there, and I think he had played like 4 games and in 6 nights, 7 nights or something. So they were riding him, and tough first period, and then kind of get thrown in there in the second. Definitely a little nervous going in there, but it was good. It was kind of perfect way to go in, not think about it too much, and just kind of get thrown into the fire there. But had a pretty good game overall. Won in a shootout there in Buffalo, so it capped off the night pretty well there for me.
So is that like, did they tell you on the bench, or you mean you had to sit through the entire period knowing you were going in?
So at the end of the first period, Derek Lalonde was actually walking down the tunnel and kind of turns around to me and goes, "You're going in, Coase." And I'm like, all right, well, 20 more. I got about 15 minutes here to get ready. Haven't taken a shot. Probably took 10 shots and warm ups. And I'm like, all right, I gotta get dialed in here somehow. So, first couple shots there, just getting back into the game kind of, and then, the rest kind of spoke for itself. So yeah, it was a crazy experience.
Folta, one sec. Like, wait a minute. So were your parents? They better have been watching. I mean, because you're backing up. Are they watching, or are you texting them between periods?
No, I wasn't able to text them. They were watching though, luckily, and my wife was actually back home in GR too watching. So everyone saw it, but they still haven't been to a game. So hoping pretty early here in the season they're going to be able to be there for my first one.
And it was a shootout too. Who'd you go up against your first shootout?
The first guy was that JJ Paterka. Actually, I stopped him, and then Tage Thompson, I stopped him, and then Alex Tuck. Actually, he got me, but we scored 2, so it was I was 2 for 3, and good enough to get the win there. So that was good.
That's insane, absolutely insane. Tage Thompson, not a big deal.
Yeah, not a big deal. That was that one felt good for sure.
So what was it like, Coase, growing up in Fort McMurray? I know you were born in Hamilton, but growing up in Fort McMurray, I've been to Fort McMurray. I grew up in Sherwood Park. So I think you guys, weren't you guys like the Fort McMurray Barons? We used to battle against you guys, but were you like a multi-sport athlete, or was it always, I'm playing hockey?
Yeah, growing up, I think I played football quite a bit up until 12. But yeah, Fort Mac's so far up there, there's no AAA team. So I billeted down to Fort Sask when I was 13. So that was a crazy experience in itself. But I played a bit of football, a little bit of soccer growing up. No baseball though, which is a little rare. But mostly football and hockey. And then at age 13, kind of going into the WHL draft, I was like, I need a little bit more exposure. And luckily for me, went down to Fort Sask, had a really good year, and then got drafted to Oil Kings there in Edmonton. So it was closest to home, which was nice.
Oh, don't I know that? My son, Nash, played for Lethbridge. He had to go up against you. It seemed like every second game, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, give Cosa a break. Like, can we buy a goal here?
Yeah, we had some success against those guys for sure. That was good.
Just dummied him. Oh, my God. He's got PTSD, the poor kid.
Oh, man.
So, Sebastian, like, growing up, because it's 5-6 hours away from Edmonton. Is that like all... Did you guys all grow up Edmonton Oilers fans? Like, was it your dream to play for the Oil Kings? Were you eventually wound up? Like, what were you kind of looking up at as a young player?
Actually, we were coming from Ontario. My family was Leafs fans. So it was, yeah, we were Leaf fans for a little while there, and then once I got drafted to the Oil Kings, just happy to kind of be close to home. I mean, obviously, it's about 4.5 hours away, so not close by any means, but the closest we got. So my parents were able to come down probably every 4 to 6 weeks and watch a couple games, which was nice. But great billets down there and stuff like that. So definitely had to mature a little bit earlier than some guys, but looking back, it was some pretty cool experiences.
Talk about that body, because I used to work out way back in the day with Zdeno Chara, and this guy was 6'8", so he's got a couple inches on you. But it took him some time, and even when he turned pro, I mean, it took him some time to grow into that body. For you as a goaltender, when did that kind of happen for you? Because you can be uncoordinated, you can be gangly, all the things, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still growing into it. I think, it's gotten better though. I think I got size 15 feet. So, oh man, probably until I was like 12, 13, hitting my feet on every single door or on the side of the couch. My feet are
skis. You don't need water skis.
Oh yeah, 100%. So, I think probably around, 17, 18, definitely started to get more coordinated and stuff like that while I was in junior, and, really just training in the summer to get, the balance and core stability and stuff like that, the leg strength. And, like you said, you're a big body, you got long levers there. So just, getting that under control.
Did I hear in an interview you met your wife while you were billeting in Fort Saskatchewan? Were you guys like high school sweethearts or something?
Yeah. I met her when I was 13, and we started dating when we were 15. So we've been going at it for a long time now.
Wow.
I think 8 years now.
Good Fort Sask girl.
Yeah,
that's impressive. I was the same deal, grade 8. Ray Whitney too, who's also from Fort Sask, was the same thing. Now Mike Commodore, not so much. Not so much. He was driving Uber to date girls. So
come on,
believe
to
that.
find some new girls, eh? That's pretty funny.
Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
Great story.
That's awesome. Well, tell us about when you first came across Dylan Guenther, because you played 2 years together with the Edmonton Oil Kings, and I think that first year you guys were together, was that one of the COVID shortened year? What was it like kind of getting to know him and seeing that shot every day in practice that would eventually score 40 goals in the NHL?
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I think he was a first overall pick, and I played with him. I played with him for 3 years, so my 17, 18, 19-year-old year. So, okay. Just kind of getting used to him, and obviously, his shot. I think even when he came in as a 16-year-old, he probably still had, probably a top 3 shot on the team. So it's just the release and where he's able to put it. It's pretty impressive, and not really surprising to see him doing so well here at this level. And great kid, and he's got that work ethic. So I think the sky's the limit for him, and he's going to continue to grow for sure.
Give us a Dylan Guenther story. I mean, you had him as a young buddy, young teammate. There's got to be an Edmonton Oil Kings story out there floating around that we haven't heard of here.
I don't know if there's any that I'm able to put on here, but he used to be pretty quiet. I think he's definitely come out of his shell now the last couple of years. But actually he lived on the west side of Edmonton, so we were all in Sherwood Park actually billeting over there, and it was probably a good 40-45 minutes. So we didn't see too much of Gunner there. He was in
the high end district, eh?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
You're in the trailer park. That's my neck of the woods. Old Robin Hood, Sherwood Park.
Yeah. No, Sherwood Park's a good spot. No, it's good. But I mean, for him, he was super dialed in. He had a longtime girlfriend at that point too. So I think he was kind of doing his own thing over there on the west side.
You guys were already both tied down at that point. What was it like playing throughout that pandemic? Because those are such formative years for you guys, right? Your draft years and the seasons get shortened, and you can't be around your teammates as much. What did you do to not just stay in shape but elevate your game during that stretch?
It was nuts. So I mean, first and foremost, we didn't really know if we were going to have a season. So I think the season started pretty late. I don't know if it was November or, it was definitely way later. And, obviously the OHL didn't have a season that year. The Q did. They had playoffs and everything. For us in the Western League, we just played division opponents. So I think we had 24 games that year, which obviously, yeah, super short season. And then our kind of day to day was from our billet house to the rink and then straight back to the billet house. So we didn't have much freedom that year, but I think it was good for us to just kind of focus on hockey. And then, yeah, obviously that was my draft year as well. So a lot of Zoom calls, missed out on a lot of steak dinners and some good experiences there. But, obviously it worked out pretty well.
Didn't get wined and dined or anything like that.
No, yeah, there was not a lot going on.
Oh,
so that draft, I mean, that sucks. The draft, I mean, the rite of passage, right? To get up on that stage, put the jersey on. None of that happened for you. It was just a phone call.
Yeah, it was a phone call. So actually, we were lucky enough. Me and Gunner actually, we were in suites at in Rogers' place there in Edmonton, Rogers Center, and just kind of they had it on the jumbotron, the draft there. So I think we were in the suite, and then the Guenthers were in the suite beneath us, and we were still able to have a bunch of family there and stuff. They put on a really good gig for us there, but yeah, definitely not the what you get nowadays and what you're used to for sure.
Did you skate with Gunner in the summer at all before, or like these last couple years at all?
Yep. Yeah, he comes out and shoots on me. Yeah, we usually, me and my goalie coach, yeah, we have goalie ices, and yeah, he comes out and shoots. So,
is it the same shot you remember? Like, has he made any tweaks to it?
Oh man, no, it's gotten a lot better. He's definitely put on some more strength. It's coming off a little bit quicker, and yeah, he's picking his spots for sure. I mean, definitely, I'm, I'll give him a little bit. Yeah, he gets me once in a while, but can't give him too much.
Out of 10 breakaways, how many is he getting on you?
I'll say 2. I'll
Oh,
say
I
2.
like
He
that.
might have a different answer. I don't know. Maybe let me bump it up to 3. Maybe.
Well, you saw a lot of breakaways because you spent about a full season in the ECHL. What was that like? Because you could have gone back to Edmonton, right? But you turned pro and you end up spending a full season in Toledo, which I used to work in the ECHL. From my understanding, Toledo's a pretty good place to be. If you're in the coast, they treat you pretty well, but it's still the ECHL. It's a long way from the show. Was that like disappointing or dejecting to end up there that season?
I mean, it wasn't my goal for sure. I mean, at that point, it was my 20-year-old year, so I could have went back to junior, but I wanted to turn pro. Even in the coast, there's guys down there. They got a guy named Brandon Hawkins who's, I think, 2-time ECHL MVP, and he can rip the puck. Oh yeah, he can rip the puck. So they got some guys that are down there, and they got great shots. So I mean, you're still seeing pro shots, but like you said, I can remember one game back in Cincinnati, and I think I had 7 breakaways in one game, and like just
not much
insane.
defense.
Oh yeah, no. I think they added up to 11 forwards now, but back in the day it used to be like 10 forwards only for per game, and it's pro shinny hockey, I would say. It's I'd say the good teams are they're bottom league AHL teams, but some of those teams, it's the coast.
Let me add on, Tyson. Did you ever play in Cincinnati on dollar beer night?
Me, oh yeah. Cincinnati, Fort Wayne. Like I got some crazy stories. Like going on the corner and you got some 65-year-old like grandma just flipping you off. Like it's the jungle. It's insane. Actually, it's pretty funny.
I remember in Cincinnati they would like on dollar beer night. It'd be like Wednesday night, and which is hilarious for dollar beer night. But you'd have these kids or adults like building these pyramids of beer along the glass, and then like the visiting team, somebody would come in and like slam into the glass and knock it all over. But like in the third period, like you couldn't even see the ice because they were building these beer towers to the top of the glass.
Yeah.
The guy behind the net with the goal light, he's smoking a dart in Cincy.
Yeah, you got birds flying around in the arena like during the game. Like you said, beer everywhere. I mean, I played in a couple of those. That was pretty funny.
Coast, those were moths flying out of Folta's wallet, because actually we've never seen Folta's wallet, so I can't even say that. But so you're drafted, Coast, 15th overall by Detroit. You get traded. I mean, this has to be a breath of fresh air, right? I mean, you paid your dues. I know you're only 23. I know goaltenders take a lot more time to mature at the pro level. but you're ready now, right? I mean, were you like kind of a little pissed off that you never got more of an opportunity, especially after your first win and a team that hasn't made the playoffs in 9 or 10 years?
I mean, yeah, like you want to play, right? I mean, I think they were kind of taking the, a patient role with me, and they wanted me to play a lot in the A, and I get both sides of it. They wanted me to come in and be ready, and kind of tough when you throw a young goalie out just kind of into the fire, especially when they're not great. So, I kind of understood what they were doing there, but also at the same time, it's, I want to play. And, I felt like there was definitely points throughout my career where, I had shown that, I deserved to get a shot maybe, and, it wasn't coming. So, for me overall, yeah, breath of fresh air. You come here and, the guys have been great. You look at the team last year, making the playoffs, giving Vegas a run for their money there. And, I think, like we said, this team is just continuing to grow, and, I'm really happy to be a part of it now.
Where do you feel like your game's at right now? Last season, you had, I think it was a historic start to the year, right? Like those first few months, you were just on fire. It was like a 950, 960 save percentage. March comes along, and there's some more ups and downs. How'd you feel like you handled the ebbs and flows of last season? And where do you feel like you're at right now heading into Mammoth camp in a couple weeks?
Yeah, I feel really good right now. And like you said, yeah, first half of the year there last year was incredible. I think we started 29-1-1-1. So I mean, just absurd numbers.
Good?
Yeah, not bad, eh? Not bad. So it was really fun group last year. Had a really good
Great
team.
town too, eh?
Oh yeah, GR's unreal. GR's a great spot.
Great rink.
Yeah. No, the city. I love the city there. So, you got everything. You got the trees, great golf courses around. You got the water right there too. So, definitely not a lot of bad things to say about GR. But, for me, I think, yeah, as you've played for so many times, and you've gotten these different experiences, kind of just managing those ebbs and flows. Obviously, didn't like how the end of the season happened last year, and even our group in general, we didn't go as far as we should have, but it's just another experience. You take it and you move on, and you see what you could have done different maybe, and I think for me personally, I didn't play my best at the end of the season last year. Whether especially as a goalie, it goes all different ways, whether, the team doesn't have a great night and you're kind of left out to dry, or, you let 1 or 2 weak ones in, and then, it just kind of goes downhill from there. But, I think just as you continue to play more games and you get these different experiences, you just continue to grow as a person.
I got to ask you, and this fires me up beyond no end. I know Foltz, you've heard this a time or two, but goalies. I played with Grant Fuhr, who played 79 games 1 year straight. Osgood. I mean, you go down the list. Cujo as well in Toronto, so you know all about him. I mean, how much he played. What is with these goaltenders? I know it's not you, but it's the goaltender coaches dictating. You have a great couple games, all of a sudden you could have a shutout, and no, it's a rest day. Got to rest this guy. I'm like, are you kidding me? Can you imagine telling Hasek or Patrick Waugh, you had a shutout last night, but you're not going to play tomorrow? Like, no. What is going on? I know you guys are much bigger now. Does that have something to do with it?
I don't know. I think whether it's the speed of the game, or, they've looked into more studies and they just want you to be, at the best performance you can. And I'm not too sure, to tell you the truth. I think obviously you look at even Veggie the past couple of years, he's playing 55, close to 60 games a year. Like that's a lot nowadays. So, some of these guys, they do got, especially starters, they got 50 plus in the tank, but, I think they also want you to have enough gas for playoffs there, so you don't kind of drop off.
Do you get a sense of like a change of pace from where you were at previous stops, where, your previous organization, you were fighting to make the team, and now, you signed the contract a couple of days after the trade. You're looked at as the number
big one too.
Not bad, right? No more two ways, but you're now kind of in a different spot where you're viewed as the number 2 goaltender on a team that is trending up and has added big names like Anders Lee and Vincent Trocheck. Like, do you feel that change of pace in the kind of the 2 different streams that you've been in over the last couple months?
Yes and no. I think obviously, you definitely don't want to get complacent. want to be here this year for sure. And, you know, that's the goal, and that's, you know, what's going to happen. But, you know, at the same time, you know, I can't let off the gas, you know, just because, you know, you sign a contract and you're on a one-way, you're not going to be here for sure. So, you know, you still need to come here and perform. And, you know, now it's just doing everything I can to, you know, once that season starts, you know, we're ready to go and, you know, playing my best hockey.
What's the one thing you bought? You get that 4 sheets, guaranteed money to a year. What did you splurge on?
Nothing yet. Honestly, I'm not cheap, but you know, I haven't really ever bought anything. Yeah, you know, I'm not cheap, but you know, I'm definitely I'm not throwing around quite yet. And
Spent some time in the coast, Tyson. He's
got his first per diem envelope, for God's sake.
No, it's I got my wife a car, got her a car, and you know, we're renting a pretty nice house there in Lehigh. So you know, just, you know, kind of saving it a little bit right now. We'll see, you know, as the season gets on and the bank account grows a little bit. But
love it.
How's the wardrobe? Because I'm just letting you know. I'm sure you've heard about it, but the boys in Utah, they dress it up. They're dripping.
I gotta up my game then. I'm as plain as they come. I got the Lululemon pants and I got a Nike shirt on. So I guess I gotta up my game if you're telling me that.
He dresses like a broadcaster. Yeah, it might be
basically. Yeah, 100%. Like you wouldn't notice me from when I'm walking on the street.
Besides, you're 8 feet tall. Yeah, I wouldn't notice you.
Exactly. Yeah.
What I'm curious, like, you know, coming in with Utah, you see Veggie's pads, like the kind of the jagged edges on them, right? Like one of the great looks, gear looks in the NHL. Do you have a design for your pads and your mask and all that yet?
Yeah, I got the mask. It's on the way, but I mean, for pads, you know, I'll kind of let Veggie take over that. And you know, for me, it's pretty simple. I just got you know, the basic Bauer you know, graphics on there, a couple lines, baby blue, the Utah blue, and then some black on there. So nothing too crazy. I like a white pad, so nothing
with
nothing
lots
too
of
crazy
black
there.
marks on them. We hope.
Yeah, exactly.
But talk about the mask. I mean, your masks are famous. I mean, you got the Dumb and Dumber. What didn't you have that back?
Yeah.
Was that with the Oil Kings?
Yeah, in Edmonton. With the SEABASS.
That thing was legendary.
Yeah,
So what do you got up your sleeve, or can you even tell us?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty basic. I think I got a big SEABASS on the side of it. You know, with the Utah on the top of it, kind of some mountains on the side. You know, honestly, that Dumb and Dumber, that SEABASS there, that was from our equipment manager Rogan Dean, who actually just got promoted there to the Oilers. So good for him. But
good for him.
Yeah, good for him. He's awesome. But no, that's kind of been him. Honestly, I've kind of let my equipment managers take over, and this year was a little bit more on me. So I don't know.
I wouldn't trust Tony or Stan. Oh my God!
Don't keep your expectations too high for me. I don't know.
They're both. One's a cowboy, and the other one, yeah, no.
Do not trust. Be putting mountains and horses on my helmet. I don't need that. I don't need that.
Sebastian, we mentioned the contract earlier, but it came so quickly after the trade. Like, what was that process like? You know, choosing to you know, sign up for another couple years here in Utah. I know you were RFA, but just you were one of a number of guys who've chosen to be with the Mammoth, which is pretty special.
Yeah, I think, you know, for me, you know, just get a new opportunity, and obviously, you know, it wasn't you know, peanuts that they traded to get me. So obviously, you know, they're pretty you know, no, not expecting, but you know, they traded a first round for me. So, you know, obviously they want me bad, and you know, that's great for my confidence, and you know, makes me want to be here. So, yeah, 2-year deal, and hopefully it's I can sign an extension sooner than later, and you know, hopefully you know, we're loving it here. So, really like the city and the guys so far. The facilities are incredible. So, you know, hopefully just continue that as time goes on. But for now, yeah, I think kind of more of my agents there after that trade. You know, I think maybe, you know, they had something lined up before, but you know, for me, it was just, you know, as soon as you get traded, it's like, all right, perfect. We're going to be here for hopefully a long time. So,
I guess the big one for me is you're a big goalie. There's not many 6'6" goalies around, but is there a goaltender out there that you kind of tried to emulate, and maybe someone along the way, a goalie coach that really had a big help in your career?
Yeah, I think growing up, it was, you know, Carey Price, who 6'4", definitely not small by any means, but, you know, just how smooth he played in the net. You know, that was really fun to watch. But then as I continued to get older, you know, watching a little bit more of, you know, I think Pecorine, even a little bit of Ben Bishop there, guys my size. So, seeing what they did and, what led them to a lot of success throughout their careers. And, both those guys had really long careers, both really good goalies. So, just kind of trying to pick away and see what they do. And, if I can, just bring a little bit of that into my game.
Foltz, one more for me, quick. The mental side for a goaltender. I could double pad stack. I was terrible when I played street hockey and net, so that was not where I was going. Plus, I don't like standing in front of 100-mile-an-hour slap shots. But the mental side of the game, you guys are a different bird because you have to do all those things. But how big is the mental side for you?
It's huge. I think, if a goalie's telling you it's not anything less than, I'd say it's 90% of the game. When you're feeling confident, you're going to be stopping a lot of pucks. So I've been working with a mental coach for the last 3 years, and, he's been doing a really good job just kind of resetting. And it's a lot of it's like pre-game stuff, whether that be visualization or, just getting your breathing technique down and, whatever you need to do to, when you step in that net, you're not really thinking about it, but you're feeling great. And you're going to stop a lot of pucks that night.
Okay, you mentioned visualization, breathing. I know Veggie's like a big rapid eye movement guy. You see like Connor Hellebuck on the bench looking like a crazy man. Do you have any of those sciences that you're tapped into as well? Like, what are the weird goalieisms that you're indulging in before a game to try and get yourself ready?
I mean, I feel like I'm a rare breed. I'm not too obviously I'm dialed in, but I'm not head down, don't talk to me kind of guy. I'm pretty loose before the game. So for me,
we can talk to you on game day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can come chat with me. Yeah, I got no problem with that. But for me, it's I've used a website called Visual Edge and Neuro Tracker in the past. So it's just throughout the week, you're doing stuff 15, 20 minutes, probably 4 times a week, and just continuing to work on your eye muscles that way. And then, whether it be, you're throwing a ball against the wall, just trying to warm up your eyes before a game. But other than that, it's nothing too special.
So now that you've said that, Foltz, you might have to get a restraining order on Foltz because he's going to be in your locker room every pregame skate. I can tell you that.
Yeah, that's fine by me. I got no issues with that.
But SEABASS, was that given to you was it your trainer or was it your brother?
So my brother.
Was it?
Yeah. My brother started calling me that growing up, and then it's never been that big of a thing, to be honest with you. And then kind of in junior, it was just on the back of the back plate of my helmet. Just got that little SEABASS thing, and now it's kind of grown into something a little bit bigger than what it always has. But I'll run with it. It's not bad.
Have the boys been using it in Utah? Because nicknames are earned. That, right? It's one screw up, one mess up, and you could be called anything.
Yeah, no, I heard there's a couple crazy ones, but I think for me, SEABASS is fine. Mostly just Coast works for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the fish nicknames are already flying in Utah because we've had Big Tuna for a while.
Yeah.
Tuna, Liam O'Brien. So now we got SEABASS as well.
Have you seen the veggie? Have you seen the veggie one? How crazy this is!
No.
Like the veggie heads that everyone's wearing around the ring.
Oh, yeah. Come on,
it's
eh?
Nuts.
That's hilarious.
I hope you're ready,
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that yet.
This is
that's
a
pretty
hockey
funny.
community, buddy.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
If Veg gets a shutout, put your helmet on the bench because we'll start getting broccoli heads thrown onto
thrown
onto the ice.
That's hilarious.
It's unreal. It's unreal. You mentioned your brother. I want to know more about your family too. And they weren't able to go to your first NHL game. Do they have some dates or like some trips circled to see you in person in the NHL for the first time this year?
Yeah, so when we go to Edmonton, I think it's October 15th. They'll be there for that one, and I think we go there twice this year, so they'll come out there, and I'm sure they'll come down to Utah a couple times. But yeah, my they're all pretty busy. They all work in the oil and gas industry up there in Fort Mac. My brother's a power engineer. My dad's a health and safety manager, and my mom's a recruiter. So,
money bags.
I don't know.
Family affair.
Yeah. I mean,
you're the poorest in the family, Coach.
Yeah, I'm the dark horse. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, like that's what you do up there, right? That's really all there is. If you're not doing oil and gas, you're either a teacher, teaching the kids who their parents are oil and gas. So, it all kind of revolves around that. But they're I'm sure they'll come to Utah a couple times. And then I think the Edmonton ones will probably calendar. They're going to circle in their calendar.
Was there a like a bad wildfire up in Fort McMurray, what, like 10 years ago or something like that?
Yeah.
I mean,
2013, I think. Yeah, we had to evacuate for 2.5, almost 3 months. So we went to Calgary actually at that point. Yeah, about probably I'd say about a quarter of the city burnt down actually. Yeah.
So you have a bad game, you're like, not so bad.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's hockey, right? So, there's a lot worse stuff going on in the world that, all the time. So, definitely being able to, when you leave the ring to, kind of leave hockey there as well. So I do a good job of that.
When you were traded to Utah, who are you most excited to meet in that locker room?
I mean, obviously, Dylan Guenther, but there's some big names here. At that point, Troch or Lee wasn't signed or traded at that point, but obviously, you look at guys like Goalie, Keller, Sergachev. There's some big names here. So, got to meet Troch and Sergey and stuff, and those guys have been awesome to me so far, and excited to meet the guys in the future.
How fired up are you being 23? Right? And finally getting your opportunity. Look around that locker room. I mean, the foundation of this group, yes, they added some veteran guys, but I mean, you guys are all so young. I mean, you guys will be carrying the torch for a long time here.
It's exciting. I mean, obviously, they've kind of been through their up and downs, the past couple of years, probably 5-6 years,
Don't I know?
The least. Yeah, to say the least.
Broadcasting those games, polishing a big turd every night. It doesn't smell that bad. We'll be good next year.
Yeah, the boys will be ready to go tomorrow. So, they've been through it. And I mean, I think you get that vibe in the locker room, guys, they're excited. The team's good. The community seems awesome. The rink, the facilities here are incredible. So, it's definitely on the up and up, and everyone feels that way, and everyone's been happy to come in and work hard, and I think that's kind of the culture of the team, which has been awesome.
What's been you and your wife's take on the community so far? Because Utah is such a strong family community, or it's such a good place to raise a family around the Salt Lake area. But I'm curious now that you've been here for a few weeks, a few months. What have you guys felt about the place?
It's unreal. Like you said, obviously with the Mormon population, obviously it is very family orientated, and that's great. We're not too crazy. We're not bar every weekend kind of crew. So
have you been to Lake Effect yet?
No, not yet. I've heard about it, but I haven't been yet.
That's my stomping ground. I'm like Norm there from Cheers.
Yeah, see you there every Friday, Saturday. You're holding that place down.
And Tuesday, Wednesday. I got a group on book.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Have you been up to Park City at all? Have you been floating around up there? Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. We went to Park City. We played that promontory there, that Jack Nicklaus course there. So incredible, unreal.
You walk up to the first tee box. I think it's like $750 from the tips or something like that.
Insane. And I'm not a good golfer, but like I'm all right. Like back home, it's all trees, right? So it's like tiny fairways, and if you go OB, like it's in the trees, you're not finding it. And mosquitoes, yeah. No mosquitoes here has been incredible. I don't think I've gotten bit once, which is an absolute game changer. So happy. But, for no trees on that course, I think I ended up in the bunker 10 times, and like I was, what's going on here? Like, I can't believe I shot over 100 and I'm embarrassed, like no trees. Like, I don't know. It's a tough track. It was fun though.
Well, you got to take the head cover off the driver coat.
I got to get some lessons, I guess. I don't know. That one was embarrassing, to say the least. But it's a tough track. It was fun. It was good.
So I'm guessing you didn't go with... What's that? Oh, well, I was
got anything else, big boy?
I'm guessing you didn't go with Keller and Schmaltz, because if you were shooting 100, they probably wouldn't have waited for you. I heard
those guys are sticks. I think I'm going to keep away from those guys. I heard it's not even fun. I think they're +2 and a +3. I've heard. So for me, like, I can't go out with those guys. I can't. I can't.
Nasty. Well, Kos, we can't thank you enough, buddy. I know you just got off the ice there in Utah, getting ready for training camp. I cannot wait to see you between the pipes this year with Veggie. This is going to be a season for the ages. So congratulations. We're pumped to have you, and have a great rest of the summer.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on, guys. Great meeting you guys too.
Thanks again to Sebastian Cosa for joining us on the Nashcast. He's slated as Utah's #2 goaltender heading into this season. Tyson, you mentioned, everything that's going on with Detroit. Like, how do the Red Wings not give him more of a chance? I got one for you, because he grew up way up north in oil country in Alberta. He said he was a Maple Leafs fan, but you're that close to Edmonton. How do the Edmonton Oilers not take a chance on this guy? For all the goaltending help that they've been looking for McDavid's
Are you
career.
poking the bear? Are you poking the bear right now, folks? Like, listen, I have a soft spot for the Oilers. I grew up watching Wayne Gretzky, Mark Messier, Jari Kurri, Esa Tikkanen, Paul Coffey, Kevin Lowe. Like, that was my team. So I still silently, secretly, when Phoenix and now Utah has been out of the playoffs, like, I secretly cheer for them, right? And how the hell have they not got a goalie ever? And people rip on me and they're like, oh, easier said than done. I'm like, well, you don't have to be a rocket science. I mean, Kenny Holland was there for a long time. And I was like so surprised that he didn't find a way to get it done. However that is, whoever you got to get rid of to clear salary cap room. And I'm not even saying because Bobrovsky's and Vasilevsky's, those guys don't grow on trees. I get that. But you could still go out like Colorado did when they won the cup and get a Darcy Kemper, right? Like someone like that, right? That has won before, not going into the playoffs with a rookie in Skinner. And he did decently. And then last year it was Connor Ingram. I mean, I love Connor Ingram, but that's your goaltender? That is your guy with the Edmonton Oilers behind McDavid, behind Draisaitl. No, it's not. It can't be. And Kosa, to your point, my God, if they haven't watched this guy 1,000 times in all the years that he's played around Alberta, in Edmonton, in that arena, folks, with the Edmonton Oil Kings, like the guy was unbelievable. You don't go out and no, he's not going to be your guy, but he's going to be a guy and eventually the guy, right? Like in 5 years, maybe less, he is going to be one of the best number one goaltenders in our league. Mark that down. Mark it down. He's 6'6", 6'7", 225 pounds. He is huge and athletic on top of it all. So he's just a bigger version of Veggie, if you can believe it. Like very athletic, right? We know that about Veg. He's just bigger, right? And he's a dangerous. So yeah, you poked the bear, you stirred it up, buddy. Goaltending. It's the most important position. You could have all the best receivers in the world, the best hitters in the world, pitching in baseball, a quarterback in football, and hockey. It is a goaltender. If you don't have one, you got no sniff.
I think you're fired up enough to chop down that tree behind you. Get rid of all that stuff. But do you think it's a thing where, because Stuart Skinner was an Edmonton kid, right? Like, or is that Jari? Did I get it mixed up?
I don't know. Don't confuse
stupid.
me. There's enough smoke going on around up here in this head.
Oh, Stuart Skinner was an Edmonton guy.
boy?
Like, do you think it's a thing where like they don't want Stuart Skinner from Edmonton. You think it's a thing where they don't want a guy from that area because it like maybe it was a distraction before, they don't want it to be a distraction now? Like I just for all the gambles and risks they've taken at goaltender, like a guy like Sebastian Kosa feels like a very strong, calculated move they could have made.
Well, let me say this, and I think you might know these two guys that are also from Edmonton or just outside of Edmonton. They're pretty decent goaltenders and a player, maybe the best leader the game has ever seen. He came from St. Albert. That's Mark Messier. And the great one, Wayne Gretzky, said this is the best goaltender of all time. In any big game, this is the guy he's taking. It's not even close. And it's Grant Fuhr from Spruce Grove, Alberta. So I don't know. History says it works. I would have taken Kosa. I'm just glad he's on our side right now because this guy is a stud. How about the personality? Like goaltenders are like weird. They can be weird. Like they can be. I've played with some normal ones. I played with some real weird ones, and I've been around some weird ones. One goaltender we had in Arizona, he was scared of bears. I mean, it's just
What was that?
it was the heck was his name now? I can't remember. Oh my God, he was good. Like he was a stud. He's Russian. God, I can't. It'll come to me.
Brizgalov?
Brizgalov, like great dude, like fun to interview, but he was weird, man, like quirky. But then I played with Sean Burke, totally normal. Brian Boucher, totally normal also. And I've been around Panger, and Panger's as normal as they come. Hopefully we get him on the show here soon. But Coase, the personality was just flowing. We can bug him anytime. I kidded you about interviewing him on game day because he said, yeah, I'm all for it. You're going to have to get a restraining order for Foltz because he's going to be right there next to you every practice. So what a good dude, though.
Oh, unbelievable. And I had gotten some intel that he was a great guy, so I'm not surprised, but super excited to see him out at camp. And it's going to be fun to see him and another prospect, Michael Robble. They're both like 6'6" at least. So there'll be some towers out there at training camp. Robble expected to be in Tucson this year for Utah, but yeah, interesting time.
5-hole. I always said 5-hole with the big goalies, right? You got to think because they're so massive, right? It's like the gateway to the West, that 5-hole. I mean, and to close it down, they're both butterfly goalies, I believe. So I think that's the challenge, the only challenge as a big goaltender, because when you're that big, I mean, you fill a lot of the net.
We'll see how Sebastian Kosa fares, not just at camp, but this year as well. Tyson, I know your iPad's about to die, so I'll let you get back to chopping down that tree and getting the sap off your hands. But looking good out there, my friend. We'll talk to you next week.
You too, man. Can't wait, and I cannot wait for this season to start. Let's go. How much longer, Foltz? It's like 38 days or something I read? 38 days.
Sleeping pill time. Give me the sleeping pill.
I love it. We'll see you soon, buddy. Great job.